Hi, I'm Kelli Thompson. I'm a leadership coach. Can we talk a little bit today about some of the messages that maybe you've heard growing up, or maybe just even some of the messages about women? Whenever I get hung up in the messages that I was told when I was little, that I was direct, I was a little bossy, and maybe sometimes I was intuitive. I was highly intuitive, but I would use that maybe to too quickly judge or something. I think sometimes those can be a really big source of internal doubt for ourselves because, we get ready to do something or to have a conversation or to speak our voice. And immediately we might ask ourselves, oh, dang, like, am I being too direct? Am I being too opinionated? Am I being too sensitive? Whatever that looks like for you. But I want maybe you to consider something different. What if those messages you were always told when you were growing up that weren't so good, that you needed to work on, that you needed to develop out of, what if those things are actually your greatest gift? And being the most confident and true version of you and working towards your success is just waiting on you to step into some of those messages that we've been told about ourselves, our whole lives. I often think about my great grandma. She owned a 1,000-acre farm and ranch in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s when she was in her working years, when women didn't own land. So just to put this into context, she was a landowner when women couldn't even get credit in their own name until 1974. They had to have their husband co-sign on a loan for them. And let me just tell you, this woman was known around town for being shrewd. She had no problem going into businesses and settling debts, asking for what she needed, asking for amounts due. And my parents would tell me that, men, because they were running the stores at that time, would see her walk in and immediately, like, they just knew. So of course, she was labeled as bossy, direct, demanding, but that's who she was, and that's who made her successful, and it didn't make her any less amazing, caring, lovable, or any of those things. So I ask you today to reflect on, what are 2 or 3 messages that you heard growing up about yourself? Maybe you were a little direct, a little bossy, a little opinionated, or maybe you were called oversensitive, overintuitive. What are those? And I think sometimes we work so hard to diminish those when, as a child, I think they're actually clues to things that are most essential selves. And what would you rather build your career on? Something or someone else's script, or trying to be someone else? Or what would feel more authentic to you? What would give you more energy? What would feel most like yourself in your true voice and magnetic? Would it be building your career and showing up as your true self, building on those unique gifts and talents that you were told that you had as a child? Now, being a parent myself, I know that when those qualities show up in your children, they can make for some really long evenings. And, they can make you look forward to, as my mother would always say, a very stiff drink. And those same qualities can turn into your greatest gifts as an adult. So your homework today from our little 5-minute video confidence and career tip is to write down, what are 2 or 3 messages you heard as a child, and how could those actually be serving you today? How could they be directing you towards showing up and doing your best work? How could they be fueling your unique self and your unique voice? And how could those messages, those qualities about yourself, actually help you contribute in your unique way and in only ways that you can? Somebody somewhere could be counting on only that unique gift that you have to offer, even if it was packaged when you were a little girl in something that people told you need to stop doing that. So I'd love to hear maybe about what messages you heard. You guys can drop it in the comments below. And by working with some of those things as you are an adult, and using them in healthy ways, they can help you serve others and show up as your best self. So if you like these tips, you can follow me on social media. I have a new video every week. at Kelli Ray Thompson, or check out my one-to-one and group online coaching programs at kellyraythompson.com.